was a late last night where we find out that one of the greatest players in the team's history was now moving on after these contract negotiations stalled, and I didn't see this coming, but business is business, and you got to strike while the iron's hot.
Yeah, you do, and if you have to make a deal, and it appeared like you did with Mikko Rantanen, this is an unbelievable return, I think, to make the Avalanche a deeper team and give them some flexibility as they save $1.25 million as well going forward towards the trade deadline, which is in 7 weeks. Bogosian, one of the last remnants of the Atlanta Thrashers in the National Hockey League. Up the middle, Logan O'Connor has a stretch pass. O'Connor, a shot. He scores! Avs get no shots on the power play. Turnover here in front. They score! Devastating turnover by Minnesota, and that was awesome. Gaudreau steps aside. Avs can't clear. Bogosian a shot, and he scores. Marcus Johansson goes on the break, centers it. Eriksson wide open. Save made by Blackwood. Holy McKenzie. That is his best save of the night. Johansson underneath, forced wide by Devon Taves. Hartman back up the near wall to the point. Bogosian has the puck, has the goal. Shot towards the net, blocked by the Avs. They skate to center ice. Rantanen, McKinnon 2-on-2. Rantanen gets it from McKinnon. Rantanen lets it fly. He scores! The Moose is loose! And the dynamic duo is back on track. Anytime you can beat a division opponent that's ahead of you, it's a good thing. And if the Avalanche can even the season series with Winnipeg, the home team has won every single game in this series. But you have to start with scoring a goal on Connor Hellebuyck in the regular season. Playoffs are a different story for Hellebuyck, as we've established. But in the regular season, the Avalanche have not scored a goal on Connor Hellebuyck. The last Avalanche player to do so was Jack Johnson. And Jack Johnson is no longer a member of the Colorado Avalanche. The Avalanche have to show that they're willing to put into work to not just beat the system, but then beat Connor Hellebuyck.
Mosiah follow. Here's Ehlers into the Avalanche zone. Shoots, scores! Nikolai Ehlers across the body. McKinnon into the slot, shot! Off the leg and wide. Rantanen diving into the circle. Rantanen shoots! What a save by Hellebuyck.
Jets players skate, but Rantanen was back over the tap.
In front for Conor. Avs knocking away score. It went right back to Scheifele. And Ehlers will have a second of the game. So the Avs fall tonight to the Jets, who have now taken a 2-1 season lead on the Avalanche.
One thing you can't do is that we came out a little soft and they got that early goal, and then we kind of picked it up a little bit second half of the first period. I like, but you spot them one, it's tough enough to, try and find the offense, and then they're digging in, and it looked to me like, did not enough, like missing some skill in their lineup that would help, and just didn't look like we had the energy and the determination to kind of get through some of their checking. We had some opportunities. We checked hard, we played hard, but the offense just wasn't coming tonight for us.
For 10 games in January, you've alternated wins and losses, which is not the consistent streaks we saw in November, in December. The inconsistent part of their game, and therefore the inconsistent part of their results, is why they were where they were first 2 months of the season. Usually Octobers for the Avalanche are ones to talk about. The Avs are not a sixth place in a division team. And I just think that those inconsistencies put them in a spot 5 and 6 through the first month of the season where they didn't want to be. It was not a hole that they couldn't climb out of, but it was definitely more difficult than they wanted it to be for their set goal that they say every single year. That's to A, make the playoffs, B, win the division, and then go on to possibly win a conference and a Stanley Cup. When you play a month where you're 5 and 6, you have to have a month that you're not just at 500, but above 500 and preferably significantly above 500. The hole that they dug in October almost seemed to dissolve away with the winning 7 of 9 in the middle of November. I think when you go through a stretch like that where you're playing such great hockey, it takes the pedal to the metal. It takes a lot of effort and energy. I think the tank may have run out a little bit towards the end of the month. You wanted to finish the month strong, but because you didn't, you knew that December had to be your best month, and absolutely had to be. We talked about injection of energy. The Wedgwood trade and the Wedgwood debut was one of those. I think the Mackenzie Blackwood trade was another. You're going to take punches and you're going to get knocked down. It's how you respond. And the Avalanche, through November and December, responded the way that the Avalanche are expected to respond.
Conor McGahey, Marc Springer, D-Mac, Alex Ryan-Emmy. Fellas, this caught everyone off guard. It caught me off guard. I don't know where to start.
I was getting ready to go to sleep because I'm 2 hours ahead of you guys. And I tell people this all the time. I find out news just like you do when you look on Twitter, and I literally couldn't. It was tough to believe. I mean, and obviously when it comes from Elliot Friedman, you know that it's legitimate. He's not just going to throw something out there. But if negotiations weren't going to happen, if there was no more movement there, then the Avalanche needed to get pieces back instead of letting Mikko Rantanen walk for free. And this is exactly what they get. Marty Necas, $6.5 million for 1 more year. And Jack Drury is a top guy in faceoffs. And the Avalanche need help. They're 31st in the NHL from the dot. And Carolina basically trades for 4 months of Mikko Rantanen with no guarantee that they'll be able to re-sign him. So if you have to make a move and you have to get something, I think it's a pretty darn good return for Mikko Rantanen.
It's a bittersweet day, right? That Mikko is a decorated player for us. He's an elite winger in this league, and so it was a tough few days. But we just felt the timing was right, and when the last few days it kind of came together, and we decided to act yesterday. But it wasn't without a lot of serious thought. I can assure you that.
It's hard because you become attached and connected and you spend time with these people, right? And so you immediately think back to those journeys, right? You think back to, okay, I remember when he was in rookie camp and he couldn't stay on his skates and he's just a skinny little guy out of Finland, but you knew he was going to be very, very good. The person is as much the player too. I mean, it's about the person that's going to be not in your life on a daily basis anymore. And I think when I talked to Chris McFarland in the booth after the trade the next day, and I could see the look on his face, it was brutal for him. I think it was probably brutal for everybody because he laid it out there. Mikko Rantanen is a world-class guy as a human being, a world-class teammate, and a world-class player. And so when you can't continue with that, it's a gut-wrenching thing, and he has that kind of responsibility. So maybe it hurt Chris McFarland more than anybody else because he, I'm sure, didn't want to have to do it. This is the National Hockey League.
Yeah, tough day. Really tough day. Like, you lose a good friend, good teammate, great player. It's hard, you know, but I understand the business side of things, and you know, it's a two-way street, and we weren't able to get a deal done, and then you know, teams are calling, and you got to business, you know, you got to get what you can, and I think we got some good players that can come in and help us, but it doesn't make it any easier. You know, it's tough to see Mikko go for sure.
Really great friend, 9 years, 10 years together, won a cup, obviously. It's just sad. I mean, I don't know exactly what happened. I know I called Mikko pretty shortly after. We talked close to 20 minutes. So, but yeah, I mean, it's just unfortunate. Obviously, losing a great friend, great teammate. Yeah, I'm gonna miss him.
Yeah, the first couple hours when I kind of knew it's happening, but it wasn't official yet. It was crazy, and just it was a little bit confusion, and then got to know it's for sure me and Jack, and you know, just emotional last couple hours, seeing the guys, and that's the one thing I'm gonna miss a lot. You know, the locker room there. We had a great time there, where it felt like a family, so it was quite emotional. And then, you know, in the morning, I think at 6:30, I flew to Boston, met the guys at the hotel. You know, I don't think both of us catch much of a sleep. Went straight to the game and, you know, played it. So it was crazy. And then I think after we went to Rangers, to New York City, and, you know, got a little sleep, and next day, 1 p.m. game again.
It's pretty shocking. I think the first thing was just shock. I think when people saw Mikko was coming over, everyone knew Necas would be a part of it, but I really didn't expect it. But then you turn the page pretty quick and you say, okay, I got to play a game tomorrow and with a new team and do well and show them that I can help this team and contribute to them winning. So you got to turn the page pretty quick, but it was a whirlwind for sure.
If you're talking about a deal, in terms of player, absolute talent, this was a home run for the Colorado Avalanche because you got deeper. And I don't think people realize what putting Jack Drury into that number 3 center spot really means for this team. Everybody starts to get where they're supposed to be. And for Coach Bednar, if you look at the game since the trade went down, nobody has to play exorbitant minutes up top unless he wants them to. And nobody plays just a few minutes in the course of a game. He's rolling all 4 lines because your old third line is now your 4th line, which is what the vision was before the season started. You couldn't have it because of injury. So dropping Jack Drury in there, and with 2 goals in 4 games already, it's pretty amazing, right? I mean, but this guy is a face-off guy. He's a penalty killer. He's a terrific player. Now, when you get to Martin Necas, this is a guy who's top 10 in the National Hockey League in scoring right now. This guy is a player. Instant chemistry with Nathan MacKinnon, and that's not an easy thing to do. Nathan MacKinnon thinks the game so fast. He plays the game so fast. He does everything so incredibly at a high level that to put somebody with him, that has to be a special player. I think that should tell you how special Martin Necas really is.
It's been real fun. I don't think I ever played in O-Zone as much as I did in these 3 games. Obviously, those things, we're still building the chemistry, but I felt like so far it's been pretty good. It's been clicking. Definitely could have scored more than what we did, but you know, it's more about me playing more of my own game. He plays his own game, and we kind of, you know, we find the chemistry there, not looking for each other too much. It's been great so far, and you know, it's a pleasure.
But your dad and uncle both played in the NHL. Did that help you kind of growing up to become the player you are today?
Definitely. I think being around it as a kid, you develop that love for the game and the passion, and being in an NHL locker room as a little kid, it gives you something to aspire to, and you know that it's possible. So I think that definitely was part of kind of my love for the game growing up, and then as I've gotten older, it's an incredible resource as far as kind of the mental side of the game and learning how to be professional and dealing with the different stressful parts of the job. So both of them have been incredibly helpful to me, and definitely a reason I'm here now.
Four deep at the blue line, Avs gain entry to the deep slot. McCarr now back for McKinnon. Winds to the circle, lets it go, and he scores! The Mac attack is back, Jack! They win it here, one-timer, and Draisaitl scores. Underneath McKinnon in space, down the left flank, McKinnon cuts to the middle. What a feed from McCarr! He scores! Kapanen, one-timer. Lobbed on, save made by Blackwood. The rebound is put in. He's got Lehkonen towards the net. Lehkonen, he scores! We're up all night to get lucky. The car, he scores! Skinner down low. Perry tries to tuck it in. Save made by Blackwood, and then it rolls in. Stick handling free. Save made by Blackwood, but Draisaitl got it back. Holding, McKinnon, save made by Pickard. Rebound falls for McKinnon again. Necas, he scores! The setup from McKinnon is his 4th point of the night, and it's a Marty party. Colorado comes to clean up Alberta. They win the final matchup of the season series, and they head into the break comfortably in the first wild card spot with 33 wins and 68 points.